Time is on your side, and never forget that. It doesn't matter how old you are, but let's unpack it a bit. Hello everyone, elite high-level philosopher, deeply profound and insightful Elmaxer here. And I'll talk a bit about time being on your side. And this is one of those ones which is a bit of a self-reminder to myself, but I distinctly remember back in 2019, 2020, when I was first starting to make content, or properly make content and do it consistently, I always felt a type of pressure. A type of pressure that I had to make it quick, soon. I didn't have much time, everything was working against me. There was a massive urgency, and I don't think being urgent about things is bad. I think it's kind of a good thing, to be honest, but I was kind of like too schizo about it. I remember seeing people like Tommy Innit. I think Tommy Innit's like 19 right now, 20? At the time when I was like making videos, he was like 17, 18, and he had 5 million subs, and Dream SMP was majorly successful, and I was like, what? How is someone that young, someone younger than me, doing so much more than me? And I think about all these YouTubers in my life. I'd see how old they are. I remember I'd always look up like the ages of like successful YouTubers I looked up to, and I was like, okay, well, if they started this year, that means I have this much time, and if I can work back to here, then that means I gotta catch up a little bit here. And I was always just so skits about making it quickly. But I'm realizing more and more that like, no, that doesn't really matter. Unless it's saying the only exception I'll have to say this is like sports. I think sports is the one thing you're kind of boned on if you didn't get in early. I always kind of regret. I wish I could have gone back and been like, hey, you should have been more competitive with sports when you were like 14 and you could have actually been really good. Because once you're like 20 and you're like, oh, I want to make it pro in basketball. Tough luck. No, you're not, because there's this cracked like 20-year-olds who have 10 years of experience of training 6 hours a day on you, and you can't make up that gap in sports. But in literally every other pursuit, everything else, whether it's in arts, whether it's in business, whether it's in a career that you're looking towards, you have so much time on your side, and I think it's really important to keep that in mind. And again, this is one of those things that's coming from a place of privilege as someone who's made it, so like it's a bit different. So I understand the perspective of like wanting to make it as quickly as possible, but once you're there, I guess I just say all these things from like a position of like, once you're actually there, you kind of don't really care. I'm so much more invested now just in my day-to-day life and like finishing a day, doing hard work and being happy with what I put out of a day than the external parts of the validation of the metrics and all that. It's just kind of like, it dulled down on me now. I don't really care about it as much as I used to. And I think this is something really important I can tell you, and I don't expect you to fully understand it, not in like a condescending way, but just like, it's so much easier to say these things once you have a taste of it, and I hope you all have a taste of it someday if you want that, just so you can understand where my perspective comes from. But I just want you to know that you have so much time to accomplish the goals. I think we set these really, really harsh short-term goals in ourselves to try and achieve overwhelming success super quickly, and it never pans out right. There's a lot of luck involved in these things. Like, of course, hard work. I'm one of the biggest advocates for a good work ethic, but there's a lot of luck in what hits. You throw enough shit at a wall, something will hit, but it takes a while to throw that much shit at a wall to see what works in the first place. So there is a bit of luck to it. I got lucky early on, I think, but over time, years and years, the more collective shit you've thrown at a wall, I think something's bound to stick, and you shouldn't stress. As long as you know you're putting your absolute all into what you're pursuing, and you're not seeing the results just yet, you're absolutely fine. One day, it's like quotes from Atomic Habits about the ice cube melting at 0 degrees, right? It doesn't show any signs that it's melting. You keep raising the temperature by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4. You're not seeing anything by 5, by 6, by 7 degrees. Ice cube's still intact, and then you hit that 1 degree threshold. You hit that next 1 degree threshold, and it's a puddle the next second. It's all about working up to these big points. You have to put in so much energy and hard work behind it. But eventually, you'll hit a turning point. And that's where the floodgates just absolutely break open. A lot of people call people like overnight successes. I remember people call like Lil Nas X an overnight success when he made Old Town Road. But you didn't see the hundreds of songs he made before that. You didn't see all the marketing he tried to do with his social media to establish an online presence. You never see any of that. So you just see that 1 degree where it ticks over and everything starts flooding out. But there's so much work behind getting to that 1 degree increase that it's insane, and it's going to take a lot of time. So I really think you should like temper and readjust your timeline of where you expect success. Maybe I'm projecting a little bit here. Maybe you guys do have a healthy kind of timeline of like, yep, over the next years I'll slowly build up what I want. I'm kind of projecting from an 18-year-old version of myself who's like, I have to make it now or I'll die. Because you always think of those famous examples. I think that the biggest one I think of is Kanye West. He was either 27, 28 when he made College Dropout. That was what are you? You're probably 18. I reckon the average age of people watching these videos is like 18, 17, right? And even if you're older, it doesn't matter. But I'm just trying to say, like, don't expect everything to click into place so quickly. Like, I know I can say this, it's easy for me to say, but it's just like, these things take time, You shouldn't rush yourself. As long as you know you're giving it your absolute all day in, day out as to what you want to achieve in life, I just think the results will come. And people might call me a bit crazy for that, but I feel kind of spiritual about it. I was telling you last week about what you put into the world, you get out. And I'm of the belief that if you're not a fraud, you're not faulting yourself, and you're genuinely putting in hard work day in, day out, to me it seems kind of impossible that you won't be rewarded down the line with what you actually want. I think it's kind of inevitable, but you have to be true to yourself. You have to be authentic. You have to realistically be saying at the end of every day, I gave that my all. I can't give it any more. That's the best I can do. And if you're doing that, I think it's inevitable that you will blow up. You'll succeed in whatever path you want to. You'll reap the results. You'll pass the exam. You get the full mark. You'll get whatever it might be, whatever goal you've set. But just know it takes time. I said at the start, but unless it's like a sport, an athletic thing where time is kind of an important factor, where you have to be young and in your prime to perform at a peak level, anything else in life, there's no timeline. Especially in the arts, you only get better with time in the arts. If you want to be a comic, you'll only get funnier with more life experience, more jokes. If you want to be a director, you'll only get better at it with the more things you shoot, the more fucking films you help participate in. I don't know, you might be that guy passing out water at first, holding the boom mic, doing something absolutely bottom of the barrel, but you're still gaining experience, and over years and years that compounds until, I don't know, you're holding a camera at one stage. Next up, you're talking to the director, you're the co-director, then you're the executive producer after a decade worth of work, But there's no timeline on that. You don't have to rush becoming something like, especially in the arts. I'm speaking mainly to people who are interested in the arts. Maybe it's making content on YouTube, painting, videos, whatever it might be, right? Time is on your side. Don't use that as too much of an excuse. I will clarify. Don't say time is on your side and then just piss away your days doing nothing productive. I don't agree with that at all, but it's a spectrum, right? You don't want to be on the side where you're like skitzing so hard like I was at 18, like, Tommy in it has already made it and I haven't. I need to go faster. Rush. You don't want to be on that side. But you also don't want to be on the side where you're just pissing away the days like, I'm like 16. I've got so much time. Which you do, you're right, okay, fuck you, you are right, but you shouldn't have that kind of, you should be a little urgent with it. You shouldn't be too urgent like I was at 18, skitzing really hard, but you also shouldn't be not urgent at all. So I'm just saying, as long as you think you're putting your best effort in, given your current situation, you're putting as much time as you have available of a day, if you're working a job, you're at school, you're working out, stuff like that. So you're giving it whatever time you have, you're really giving it some focused effort. I really just think you should extend your timeline. You see a lot of these streamers, a lot of these other YouTubers, they're in like their mid to late 20s when they make it, right? You don't have to immediately pop out on the scene and be this ultra super success super quickly, because it takes so much time to hone your craft and actually get better at it. So it's just unrealistic to expect so many things to go your way so early on. I was the beneficiary of a lot of luck. Like, I did put a lot of work in. I've been making videos since, I hit my mic there. I've been making videos since 2014, so I have been putting in the work, and I've been learning slowly over time, but I still think I got pretty lucky pretty early on. But I don't think, I say this as well because I don't think I'm going to be making videos for the rest of my life. I don't even think I'm going to be making TF2 videos in half a decade from now. 3-4 years. 3 years. 1-2 years from now, I probably won't be making TF2 videos. Who knows? And I'm just saying that my timeline after hitting a reasonable amount of success is so much longer. Whatever pursuit I take on next, it'll probably be like different types of videos that aren't TF2. I have such a broadened timeline of what I expect of myself. I know it's going to take a lot of time. These things take time. Takes a lot of concerted effort, and just don't stress it too hard. Don't not stress about it at all and think you can just piss away your younger years, because they are some of the most important for setting up yourself up for life. But I think you should also buy the same side of the coin. Oh no, the opposite side of the coin is that you have time. Especially, I know a lot of my viewers are young. I know a lot of my viewers are probably like 16 to younger than me. There's some guys that are older than me too, and you've also got time. Even if you're 30, who cares? You have so much time available to you. That's 1/3 of your life. If you're 30 right now, you still have 2/3 of your life to change everything around. It's just like, we all have so much time. We all need to collectively take a deep breath, exhale, because we have so much time, and you can do so much if you choose to spend those hours right. Don't skits about it too hard like I did, but I promise you, I think these things work out in the end if you're true to yourself, if you're truly putting in your best effort, your absolute all, day after day, and you're honest with yourself, you're authentic about it. I don't really see a world where you don't achieve what you want. That's me being honest. Maybe I'm schizo, maybe I'm delusional, maybe it comes from a place of privilege, but that's truly what I believe, and I wish literally everyone who's watching this video all the success they could ever want in life. It is just going to take a lot of time. It's just going to take a lot of time. That's all from me. So this one was a day late. I kind of forgot about it because I was finalizing my 50,000 word script for my spy video, which I'm going to start voice recording tomorrow, which is going to be, ay carambe, that's going to be a bit of a fucking challenge, but it'll be worth it. It's been a really hard video to make so far, and I'm really looking forward to the end of the editing stage, but we'll smash through it. That's all I want to say. Just come on. You've got so much time on your hands, no matter how old you are, Things take time. You have time. Don't stress about too hard. Have a little bit of urgency with it. You don't want to be lounging around doing nothing all day, but just trust me. You can look up at the lists of all the famous people, all the actors, all the artists who didn't make it till their 30s, 40s, even 50s, right? Charles Bukowski. I'm going to look this up right now just before the end of the video. How old was Charles Bukowski? Charles Bukowski age when he got signed. He was 50! He was a writer who was 50. He wrote stories to himself for 50 years before he got signed, guys. Okay? Alright? He's one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, allegedly. I've only seen some of his quotes. I really like his quotes. But 50! Okay? Don't stress it. We're all going to make it. Quote Z's there. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you're doing well, and farewell, Elite Level Gamer.